In Accumulate, there are many ways to manage your account, which you can do through authorities that we call keybooks. Every Accumulate digital identifier, or ADI, must contain at least one keybook, although multiple keybooks may be specified. A keybook specifies a set of authorities that are organized and prioritized as key pages, where a key page of a higher priority is able to make changes to its own security or to the security of a key page of lower priority. Every key page will have at least one entry, which may be a key hash, a keybook URL, or even both. If the entry is a keybook URL, then the keybook it points to is a signer on that key page for that account. Recall that accounts are human-readable URL-based addresses. Because keybooks and key pages are both accounts, they also have public URL-based addresses like the keybook URL acc://bob/book or the key page bob/book/1. In Accumulate, you can manage your account with your main keybook. You can allow another keybook owned by your ADI or by a different ADI to govern your account, or you can allow the keybooks that govern your account to further delegate the authority to sign transactions against your account to another keybook. It may sound pretty complicated, but we'll break down all these scenarios in this video. So in Accumulate, we can have what we call local authorities, remote authorities, local delegates, and also remote delegates. If an authority belongs to the same root identity as the account, we call it a local authority. Otherwise, we call it a remote authority. A keybook may delegate its authority to another keybook. If the two keybooks belong to the same root identity, we call this a local delegation. Otherwise, we call it a remote delegation. If we take a look at the following table, we can see how these local and remote authorities and delegates can be combined to enable a variety of applications that are useful in everyday life. Imagine, for example, that you own an ADI with the name Your ADI. And this ADI has some generic token account we'll just call account. In this case, your token account URL would be your ADI/account. Now, an authority or delegate really just means a keybook that is owned by some ADI, whether it's your ADI or somebody else's. By default, your account is governed by a local authority. This means that your ADI/account is governed directly by your ADI/book, where your ADI/book is the keybook URL for your ADI. In this scenario, you retain full authority over all your transactions, just like you retain authority over a typical single-sig blockchain address. You could also have a remote authority, where your ADI/account is managed by my ADI/book. In this case, my ADI refers to a different ADI. You could imagine for this use case, maybe my ADI as a manager of your account. If we had a local authority with a local delegate, that means your ADI/account is governed by your ADI/book. But authority is also delegated to your ADI/book 2. Here, book 2 refers to one or more keybooks that are also owned by your ADI. This could be useful for a company that wanted some department within their organization to be able to manage transactions going into or out of their account. You could imagine both keybooks, keybook 1, keybook 2, having one key and requiring an M of N authorization scheme of 2 of 2. That means no transaction will be executed unless both keybooks sign. Delegates can also be a lot more powerful than signers on a multi-sig transaction because they have the ability to initiate transactions on their own or even control the account if they hold a majority of keys. Moving on, we have local authorities and remote delegates. In this case, your ADI/account is governed by your ADI/book, but authority is delegated to one or more external keybooks like my ADI/book. Because my ADI refers to a different ADI, the URL my ADI/book is considered a remote delegate. This kind of governance structure could be useful for managing a foundation where your ADI and several others that you trust to co-manage a foundation, where you all have authority to move assets in and out, can be used. In the case of a remote authority and local delegate, your ADI/account is governed by my ADI/book, but authority is delegated to my ADI/book 2. This may be useful for automated payments, for example, where you give a business authority over your account, and that business delegates the authority to sign transactions to an automated manager who is bound maybe by a set of rules that determine how much or how often tokens can be withdrawn from your account. Finally, we have remote authorities and remote delegates, where your ADI/account is governed by one or more external keybooks, who in turn delegate authority to other external keybooks. For example, your ADI/account is governed by my ADI/book, who delegates to fraud protection/book. In this case, my ADI could be a manager of your ADI with the authority to transfer tokens on a platform that relies maybe on a layer 2 solution. If the layer 2 solution is taken down, then fraud protection/book could be used to automatically cancel all outstanding transactions. So in summary, the ability to define the governance structure of your ADI and the ability to modify the M of N authorization schemes within that structure gives you the ability in Accumulate to replicate virtually any financial operation and also the flexibility to adapt as things change.